Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trailblazers. I'm your host, Jonathan Badler. I'm excited to have my guest here today, Jess Provost, to tell us a little bit about a new adventure that she has taken in the last 3 months and launching a YouTube channel. So Jess, I will let you kind of introduce yourself, tell a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into that journey and how it's unfolded.
Hi, I am Jessica Provost, and I am a mother to 3 young children, and I am a cross stitcher, quilter, and many other craft lover. And I created a YouTube channel, which in the cross stitch community, we call them floss tubes, to show my share and show my love of cross stitch and all things crafts with other people in the community. So
awesome. So one thing I think is really interesting about your story is your mother would characterize you as a very introverted person, and going out and launching a YouTube channel would be something normally kind of out of character for you. And I wanted to know if you kind of agreed with that and what your thoughts were about that.
yes, I definitely would characterize myself as an introvert. I do like to be around people, but then I also like to have my alone time, my quiet time away. And that's kind of what my stitching portion is to me, is that's my relaxation. And a lot of people ask me, how do you get so much stuff done? And it's because that's the time that I have to myself to de-stress and relax. But I really decided to do the YouTube channel because I was watching other people, and I felt like I had a lot to contribute and share. And I started first posting on Instagram, and I was getting a lot of good likes and responses and people commenting. And from there is how it kind of just decided, I think I want to do it and try it. And if it fails, I will stop. I mean, I didn't have to continue after one episode of trying. And after I started talking to the camera, or then I would be talking to the people watching, it just kind of started flowing. And then it made me feel more comfortable. So then I just decided to keep going, but it definitely is out of character for me if you know me on a personal level.
That's cool. So it sounds like you started with a passion, something that you really enjoy doing and feeling like you have something to share. So you talked about starting on Instagram, and I wonder if we could go back there and kind of talk about what that first step was to even put yourself out there on Instagram. How did you decide that that was something that you wanted to do? And then, what were the thoughts and the feelings that you were having that kind of made you take that jump from being kind of introverted and keeping to yourself, and I mean, really putting yourself out there publicly for the world to see, really?
Well, definitely starting with the passion. I love crafting, and I'm very crafty. And so I felt like, and I would only put things out there that I felt like not were perfect, but that was a good thing to show. Or not a product, but a good whatever.
Good representation of what you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'd put that out, and I just kind of started small, and I'd put something I was working on or a finished product, and then people started liking it, and then I would find other people who were doing the same, and kind of fed off of that. And still, I feel like even on Instagram, you're not hiding, but you still have, like, people don't really know who you are. They just kind of see your stitching, and you're not as much in the public eye as when you go on to YouTube and have a recording and your face is on there, and people can scrutinize what your videos, how you talk, what you say, what you look like.
Yeah.
So I feel like Instagram was where I first started. And then I ended up I had posted one picture, and somebody who liked it shared it, and that person had a lot of people following them. And then all of a sudden I started having a lot of interest. And that's what kind of spurred me on to say, okay, well, if this many people are going to like the Instagram photo, then if I do a video on YouTube, I think I would have a good response. So let me try it. Because I had been cross stitching. I started my YouTube channel 3 months ago, but I started cross stitching 3 years ago. So, I mean, there was a long time. And even at the beginning, there was a decent amount of time that I had not, um, or I hadn't posted on Instagram any of my stuff. So, I mean, it was definitely a process of starting,
Yeah.
then posting, and then moving to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, that makes sense. I
So,
love that you say that, this all started with your passion. And it sounds like, that first baby step was a little bit safer because, like you said, Instagram kind of gives you a little bit more anonymity about, this is my product rather than this is who I am. But now you've taken that kind of that leap
right.
into this is my product and this is who I am, and putting yourself out there for everybody to see. The other thing that I want to come back to in just a minute is you've kind of talked about finding your community, because I think that's a big part of stepping out in a new direction, is kind of finding those like-minded people that you can really kind of gel with. But I wanted you to maybe talk a little bit about, before you even took that first step into Instagram, and then also from Instagram to YouTube, um, what sort of fears and limiting talk did you have in your own head that you kind of had to deal with? Or maybe you didn't have any, but if you had some, I think that'd be good to hear.
Really just the recording of myself. I do not like FaceTime on the phone. I always am like, this is an horrible angle. And I'm trying to move the phone everywhere. And so I'm like, if I record a video, who knows what I'm gonna look like? So a lot of that, just kind of the outward. And then what if I don't have enough stuff to say? What if it was a lot of what will other people think
Yep.
of what I have to put out there? Will people even want to watch, or things like that? So that was a big thing, and just the basic recording of a video
Yeah, yeah,
of yourself. And then I do watch the videos back just one time, because I write notes at the bottom of my video. And the first time I was like, oh gosh. And then now I'm like, okay. And I still have critiques of myself, but I think anyone, no matter who you are and how long you've been doing things, you always have critiques of your own self.
yeah. I would say that's pretty accurate. So you talked about kind of having some of these, some limiting thoughts about, am I going to have the right things to say? Are people going to be interested? And those are fears that can and do stop people in their tracks. In fact, I've kind of dealt with some of that myself, and I'd be interested in hearing then, like, what did you do to kind of get over that hump instead of letting those things stop you?
I mean, honestly, I think just the biggest thing was just pushing the play button and knowing, and I think I had already recorded my first video, but I watched somebody else's. I did watch before. I went and Googled floss tube number one and watched a few different people's first floss tubes and kind of what they said. And I am a teacher before I became a stay-at-home mom. So I'm very much a planner, and I like to have everything laid out. So I was trying to get the lay of the land of what did I need to say and all that stuff. But I knew that if I recorded the video, I had the opportunity to not upload it. So I figured if I just record it, try all of the stuff, see what it looks like. If I hate it, I don't have to put it up there.
Right.
And after I did it and I had so much to share, and you could tell because it's my passion, I was like, okay, well, I think that looks good. I'll go ahead and do it and try. So I think mainly just pushing the record button and then knowing I didn't have to submit it if I didn't want to.
Yeah. Yeah, taking that first step, I mean, that can always be the
Yeah.
scariest thing, and, getting up the nerve to take that first step is, really the biggest obstacle, and then I feel like once you take that first step, then that's when you start to realize that, like, all these stories that you've told yourself in your head about, like, not being good enough, or, maybe I won't have the right things to say, or nobody will want to listen to me, then those kind of all get revealed to be like, I
Yeah,
got this.
exactly.
So, well, that is awesome. I want to go back to community, because one
Okay.
of the things you were talking about is, you got curious yourself about what other people were doing. You started watching their content, whether it was on Instagram or YouTube, and kind of got introduced to that whole community, that whole supportive community, into your craft. And I want to hear you talk, I guess, a little bit about how that has played a role, if it's been important to find those people that are doing the same thing that you are, have the same passion, and what you do to connect with people.
For sure. The community aspect is a big part. Um, and from my YouTube channel, and I think it might have actually just been from Instagram, I found two people, I still haven't met them in person, that live right around me that cross stitch as well. One of them happens to know my husband's aunt
Oh,
from
funny.
church. So, but I didn't even know they lived in Oviedo. Um, and then, but I have met through the internet a bunch of other people who do floss tubes. And then a couple of them I've become friends with, but I've never met them in person, which I think is so strange, but also so cool.
Uh-huh.
That you could have friends that you would consider best friends or really close friends. You talk all the time, but you've never met them in person. Um, and that's all through the cross stitching community. But the community is so strong and supportive. And I'm on video number 14, and I've
Wow.
already received gifts from viewers, different cross stitching type of things. And people are just so generous and giving. And it really, you think that there aren't good people out there, but there are. And I feel like the cross stitch community is a has really nice people.
Well, that is cool. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think finding your community, finding your tribe, whatever you call it, is certainly
Right.
an important part of um, connecting with your passion and taking, a step in a different direction. So you have taken this step. You have your YouTube channel. It's been going for about 3 months. We talked a little bit about some of those thoughts and fears that you had initially, and I'm curious if you still have some of that. I know that you said that you kind of still already have some of that critiquing, but if there's anything in particular right now that pops up in your head when you're thinking about creating a new video, that you have to deal with, and if so, then what are you doing to deal with those roadblocks?
Um, so it is interesting because my channel, I show the projects that I'm working on and the projects that I finished and my plans and things that I've bought. And that's kind of the framework of my videos. And right now, I don't know if it's from my kids being out from summer or whatever, but I feel like I can't quite focus on one project. So I feel like I'm jumping all over the place. And that's one of the things that I keep thinking is, are people going to think I'm crazy because I can't focus on one thing, because that is not my personality. um, so just that, and then kind of this line of, I'm making the video to share with people. So, but making sure that I'm cross stitching the things that I want to cross stitch, not doing things for the purpose of pleasing others.
Yeah.
Um, So I'm trying to remind myself I'm doing this for me, and then I'm sharing what I want to do, not doing projects that other people want to see and I don't have any interest in. So
Yeah.
kind of trying to walk that line, and figuring that out. And that's what I, in the most recent, have been dealing with and trying to navigate.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you said that because you're trying to connect and create from a place of authenticity,
Right.
which kind of just keeps your whole, path that you're on kind of really pure rather than, going down some path where it's commercialized and then you kind of lose your joy. And then what are you even doing it for? So
Right.
authenticity is awesome. So with that struggle, is there anything that you're doing currently to kind of keep yourself on that authentic path?
I am volunteering next week with a vacation Bible school for my kids. And I just said on my video today, I'm going to take next week off. And if I feel like cross stitching, I will. If I don't, I'm just going to take a little break, take a break from my videos because I have been recording and posting weekly, and just trying to take a week break and then see if that kind of helps to recharge me, because I still want to be creating, but I just kind of feel like I'm in a weird rut the past week. And I thought that that might help to break it.
Yeah.
Um, so I had recorded a video earlier today, and that's kind of what I decided for the at least the next week. And then if I need to take another week, or but just giving myself grace and taking a little break to recharge and kind of figure out what I want to do. And it is kind of a weird time too, since it's the summer and
Yeah.
um my kids, everyone's home all day. And so it's kind of a different routine than the school year.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you use the word grace. I would also throw in there self-awareness. So, being
Right.
aware of your own thoughts and then being able to use that to make decisions and intentional decisions that are or choices that are right for you.
Right.
So you've got this channel now. 3 months on, I'm curious to hear from you. Like, what has this meant for you to take this step out in a different direction, launch your own YouTube channel? Like, what has that done for your life? What's it mean for you?
I definitely feel like it has not given me purpose, but it's definitely helped to create kind of my identity as a mom, because everything I do is wrapped around my children. What do they need? And so it's kind of given me something since I was teaching, as I had mentioned, and now I'm a stay-at-home mom. It's given me a community of people, of the other like-minded people, not just mom friends, but cross-stitching friends who get cross-stitch,
Yeah.
have people to talk to for that. And then it's just given me a reason to do my work and then share it with people, um and have feedback and conversation of something that I like. And so that's been really fun. And I'm just, people are saying, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to do this or do that with it? And I just am at this point waiting for it to evolve into what it's going to evolve into. And so as I've made videos, people have said, well, what if you make a video on this or that? And so that's kind of given me extra content to create and ideas. And that's been fun. Um, and then who knows where it will lead to as it keeps growing and I keep creating. Um, and soon my kids will be in full-time school, and then I want to do something job related, and I just didn't know exactly what. And so potentially this could evolve into somehow creating a job. But I like it because again, the word passion, it's
Yeah.
something that I'm passionate about. And so I enjoy doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I think also, the things that you talked about that I think really just ring for me is finding your community. So when we go through these changes in life, so you used to be a teacher, and then you stayed home to raise your children, that's kind of a change of identity. And so in those changes, it's important to still feel connected to something. And so you've
Right.
used this as a way to connect to like-minded people and things that give you joy, and certainly using your passion, but also adapting the skills that you already had as a teacher, to actually really kind of embrace your passion and use your skills as a teacher. So I think that is really awesome. Um, I wanted to know if you had any advice if somebody else was thinking about, hey, I'm kind of just feeling kind of or I want to do something different. I want to connect with a new community or create something in the world. What sort of words would you have for them?
I would definitely say to just try it. And like I said, if you are going to create a video for YouTube or really anything, I always believe try it once. If you don't like it, you don't ever have to do it again. So if that's recording a video or trying a new hobby or just trying to create something, if you try it once, you can always continue on if you love it or not ever do it again if you hate it. Um, and then as in regards to the video, like I said, just push the play button, come
Yeah.
up with what you want to talk about, record your video, and then if you don't like it, you don't have to post it anywhere, but at least you can try to put yourself out there, practice. And I mean, worst comes to worst, you take it down. I
Right.
mean, you can always, I know people say you can never get rid of stuff, but you can always take it down if there was a problem or whatever. But I mean, I say just try it, and um you might find that you love it and you want to continue. So, and you don't know if you love something until you try
I agree. Wise words.
it.
Well, I do want to thank you so much for sharing your story, and I'm excited to see what you do. I'm glad that you are open to just like whatever those possibilities are for
Yeah.
your channel. I, I, I personally feel like that's a really good place to stay, is just open to whatever happens and how things evolve. I want to give you a chance to tell people how they can connect with you and what you do on YouTube.
Um, you can find me on Instagram at Sweetwater Stitcher and on YouTube at Sweetwater Stitcher as well. And my name is Jessica Provost. So if you just Google Sweetwater Stitcher, it should come up as well.
Excellent.
So
Thanks again for sharing your story, and best of luck to you. And I wish you much continued success.
thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Jess.